Welcome to the Tailgate Sports Show right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. My name is Trace Nye. We appreciate you for tuning in to our program here today. Happy Wednesday. Hump Day is what we like to say. We got a good show lined up for you here. We're going to listen to an audio from the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Competition. That's one of my favorite. I love to eat. I love hot dogs, and it's the perfect time. And it happens every year around the July 4th weekend. Joey Chestnut, once again, reign champion, the best in the world. So we're going to listen to him and another audio as well. But there's also a kind of a hiccup while the hot dog eating competition was there. A protester actually arrived on stage, and Joey Chestnut put him in a kind of a wrestling chokehold. The protester was Scott Gilbertson, 21 of Berkeley, California, who was charged with criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and harassment, according to the New York Police Department. He was one of three protesters, all animal rights activists working with a grassroots group called Direct Action Everywhere. Of course, Joey Chestnut said he felt bad afterwards. He realized that he was a kid. Chestnut told USA Today Sports on Tuesday, "I felt bad afterwards. I was just amped up, just focused on getting back to eating." We'll get back, take a second. We'll listen to this audio here. We'll be right back.
Then the talking about those doing the eating is the other thing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And they are off. And this first minute or two is really key, Rich.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers from past years, the first minute or two is where they set their pace. Same with the ladies' competition. I asked Joey, with 14 wins out here, has the event become routine? He said, actually, when he takes the stage, every year he feels like the 20-year-old kid he was back in 05.
Let's see if he slows down as he gets rolling. Back to you, gentlemen.
All right, Chase. His future to scarf down, but for now, George takes us home with Joey Chestnut.
Wounded, but very much alive, Joey, with another title.
Holds in that last one. The final dogs get counted up. Wash it down.
With 63 Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs and Buns for his 15th championship, Joey Chestnut!
Said she was dealing with a left wrist injury, and that was hurting her some. And I mean, that's not great, but it's not your stomach, it's not your mouth, right?
But she got 40 and she slayed 8 titles.
40, she takes down Michelle Lesko, who was the champion from 2021. So we really kind of had a defending champ, and then the champ emeritus is back to win by 16, 40 to 26 to 23 and a quarter. Jason Fitz with the champ and family.
4, 3, 2, 1, go! And Travis Paradise spilling a little of that pink lemonade. Badlands Booker, T. Kenny is pushing Badlands. T. Kenny's pushing Badlands, but Badlands, he's going for it. Badlands Booker. Oh! Oh my glory! With a new world record of 1 gallon of Nathan's lemonade. Badlands, how do you feel?
Excuse the bad manners. Sorry. Woo, that was awesome.
In some cultures, a burp is a compliment.
Protester with a Darth Vader mask rushed the stage and bumped into Chestnut, who immediately goes chokehold there. I think he's done that before. Contest officials then escort the intruder away. Various gambling sites have given refunds to the over-under due to the protester interference. Yes, there was an over-under at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
So there you have it, the best of the weekend to kick off our Tailgate Sports Show right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. If it sounds like I'm a little funny today, because I am out, unfortunately, we have hit the COVID situation here at the household, here at the Snod household. So bear with me. But that was the hot dog eating contest, kind of the best of the weekend there, as I'm not really sure that I could eat more than, I love food. That's, if you know me as an individual, more than just the, radio broadcaster or whatever, you know that I love to eat food. Now, the hardest part about eating hot dogs, really in the hot dog eating contest, is you have to stick it in the water to be able to kind of indulge it. So I'm not really sure I can really do that, but I could do about 4 or 5, 6, 7, maybe. But I will be absolutely miserable going into it or after the fact. So the fact that they can continue to eat like that every single year, and Joey Chestnut continues to break multiple records. Now, I think he would have broke the record once again this year if it wasn't for the protester. But, it is what it is. He did what he had to do. Unfortunately, he was a kid, and the fact that he's now going to jail for it. So think about that aspect of it before you go out there and try to interrupt a hot dog eating contest. But, let us know. Give us a call, 919-618-9258. Again, 919-618-9258. So what we have coming up here, we have a college realignment. There is rumors right now, of course, of UNC, if the North Carolina Tar Heels, if they're looking to leave the ACC. You have Clemson, of course, the top dog in the ACC here locally. But there's potentially some realignment through the ACC. We have already seen UCLA and Texas really move. The next domino, we're just kind of waiting on Notre Dame. Let's be honest. We're waiting on Notre Dame to figure out what they want to do. But you look at it, and I asked you this question going into the rest of the show. Do you care about the fact of UCLA, when they elected to leave, when Texas and Oklahoma elected to depart the Big 12 for the SEC, the college football world turned upside down? Who knew? That was the only tip of the iceberg in terms of the conference realignment. We know that those are big players. When they are good, college football is better. The problem is they haven't really been, and I'm more concerned about Texas, Oklahoma. They've been Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. Those players, quarterbacks, put Oklahoma back on the map. But Texas really hasn't done much in the world of moving the needle the last couple years. Now, the Southern California, USC, and UCLA will be going to the Big Ten. So again, the Sooners and Longhorns join the conference where it just means more, no later than 2025. By then, USC and UCLA will already be a year into adjusting to winter weekends as member of the Big Ten. Now, the question I have for you here, and we'll put this on a poll as well, is that going to move the needle for more college football programs, big college football programs, being into a huge conference? Now, I'm more concerned about the Oklahoma aspect of it. Texas doesn't really move the needle for me because they haven't really been, on the scale of notoriety last couple years. I'll say that in last 10 years or so. UCLA, that's the Chip Kelly effect you have there. But of course, now Lincoln Riley over at USC has an opportunity to do something really to look forward to. So I'm excited. When Southern California, USC, is relevant in the college football rankings, college football is better. Let's be honest. College football is better. So the next domino, potentially Notre Dame, potentially North Carolina and the Tar Heels, potentially Clemson. Who is the next domino to fall? Notre Dame right now holds all the cards of the next major move for realignment. Sure, the Big 12 is doing its homework on up to 6 programs from the now fleeting Pac-12. Yes, other schools will be testing the water to see if they qualify for a shot or at joining the 2 super conferences of tomorrow. Those moves will be a thing of the past where mere hours after the announcement, not Notre Dame. So right now, Notre Dame is as an independent they can really do what they want to, which is a little nuts. The Big Ten wants Notre Dame. Both Oregon and Washington are potentially moving into the Big Ten. There's all sorts of different aspects of it. I'm interested. We've been waiting for Notre Dame to really move somewhere. Now, they kind of during the COVID year, they struck a deal with the ACC to be able to be a part of the ACC and, compete against UNC, Clemson, those aspects of it. Duke, Syracuse doesn't really move the needle there as well. So they are the next big national rank. If they join the Big Ten, if they join the SEC, we already know the SEC is a dominant force already. The likes of Alabama, the likes of Georgia, South Carolina is moving the needle in that aspect of it here soon. It's going to be interesting to see how things kind of unravel. What team do you want to move that needle? Do you want it to be Notre Dame? Do you want it to be, because Clemson really doesn't have any really competition other than likes of every other year of Florida State or UNC. Now that team is kind of starting to unravel a little bit more. They really don't have competition. Notre Dame is the competition. Pitt last year with Kenny Pickett was a dominant force. We know that. But now he's gone. He's moved on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is there another team that moves that needle for you? Let us know. 919-618-9258. 919-618-9258. Shoot us an email. contact@nextdoorradio.com. I'm voting for the likes of Notre Dame of just doing something. Right? Do something. The independent aspect of it really hurts them. Yes, they're going to be there for the college football rankings and the national championship because they're by themselves. But you put them in a conference, who knows what might happen. It's going to be interesting. Looking forward to it. Again, this is the Tailgate Sports Show right here on Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com, the Next Door Radio app. We'll be back.
First, the world's first glimpse at Chet Holmgren in a professional basketball setting. And did he ever impress on Tuesday night? Holmgren out of Gonzaga, 7-1, showed off the handle, the shooting touch, 7 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 on his three-point attempts, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Sean, he went for 23, 7 boards, 4 assists in OKC's win over Utah.
Wow, breathless. I mean, quite impressive. This is a guy who in high school crossed up Steph Curry at Steph Curry's basketball camp. And in this game, he blocks Taco Fell twice.
Yeah.
So he deals with the little guy with the quickness and the skills, and he also showed defensive capabilities against a bigger guy. So, he's sort of like a unicorn, basically. A very unique player, skill set for his height. And this guy is not bashful. He's forceful. I mean, he's aggressive. He's going to go to the basket. He's showing some skill with the step-back three-point shot. And he shows some courage at the rim, too. So we see the glimpses of what could make him a very good NBA player. Yeah, it's Summer League. So let's, caution.
Yeah.
We've seen this before. But if you're Oklahoma City, you kind of like what you saw tonight.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better start out of him. They had him walking the ball up, dribbling it up, and sometimes just deciding to call his own number and take a three and knock it down. Pretty impressive.
Hey, welcome back to the Tailgate Sports Show right here on Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Next Door Radio app. As we continue our program today, we're going to look into some Summer League action on behalf of the NBA, but also... real quick before we go into the NBA, locally, again, if you're into the basketball scene, the Oxford Park and Recreation has the 3-on-3 basketball tournament coming up July 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's located at Hicks Outdoor Basketball Court. It is absolutely free, 16 and up. teams must pre-register. Up to 4 players on a team, only 3 can play at a time. Each team must have a team captain. Rules will be divided at 2 team captains. Game will be 15 minutes or 15 points. Tournament format will depend on the amount of teams that participate. For more information about this, you can go to the Oxford Park and Recreation Facebook page today. Again, Hicks Outdoor Basketball Court, the 3-on-3 basketball tournament annual event on behalf of the Oxford Park and Recreation. So, as we sit here today, of course, the Chet Holmgren, the number 2 overall pick in this year's NBA draft, shined last night. What we like to call the unicorn. He's 7'2", gigantic. The problem is he's very skinny. Nobody, and now he was fantastic over there at Gonzaga. Made a name for himself. But last night, he was phenomenal. I'm not sure if you had the chance to go or see Chet Holmgren in Oklahoma in the Summer League last night, but he was phenomenal. Even the likes of Kevin Durant saw what he could do. Now, of course, Kevin Durant was drafted by the Thunder. That's when the big 3, before they were the big 3, was there. You had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Harden. Both those players are on the downswing in Westbrook and Harden. Neither one of them can kind of get their teams that they have been over the years over that hump. Now, we assumed that Kevin Durant was going to be that guy. He from Oklahoma. He went to the Golden State Warriors and won a championship. Now, he decided to leave Golden State and go to the Brooklyn Nets. They paid a lot of money for him to rehab and get going, and now what does he do? Throws them under the bus, wants them to really trade him away. He requested a trade. They received Kyrie Irving. He now wants to leave, requested a trade. He declined his offer sheet. So we'll get into that here in just a second. But Chet Holmgren, 7'2", scored 23 points last night, was phenomenal. He did not disappoint in the Summer League debut. The number 2 overall pick delivered oohs and ahs in his first game at the Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, scoring 23 points and powering the Oklahoma City Thunder to a 98-77 win over the Utah Jazz. Here's a small sampling of Holmgren's play just in the first quarter. 3 blocks, including one on 7'6", 250-pound Jazz center Taco Fall. That's a big man. 3-pointers. 3 3-pointers, including 1 step back on Fall. A nifty 9 to set up a Jalen Williams and 1 layup and a steal. Those highlights continued throughout the night as Holmgren did damage from deep, 4 for 6 and 3-pointers, locked down the paint, and most notably, wasn't pushed around too much by neither Fall or Utah's other center, rookie Kofi Cockburn, who was 7 foot, 290 pounds. Holmgren grabbed 7 rebounds and had 4 assists. Now, I read all this is because the biggest knock on Chet Holmgren was, could he last in the paint? Being 7'2", can he facilitate and do what he wants to do for the Oklahoma City Thunder? I don't think he's going to have a problem. Yes, it is the first debut, it's the first game in his professional career. But I am on that train for Chet Holmgren. I am on the train that he is going to continue to get better. He looks like in the videos that I've seen and the photos that we're seeing, he's kind of bulked up just a little bit, but he is everything in advertised. And when a guy like Kevin Durant, who, by the way, is requesting a trade, there's an opportunity that could be kind of the under-the-radar move for Oklahoma. Could Kevin Durant go back to where he started? Now, there's, NBA podcast and, Sirius XM and FM radio stations are talking about how you wouldn't give up the farm to go get Kevin Durant. Now, you add Kevin Durant into Chet Holmgren, you add Kevin Durant into the young team in Oklahoma City right now. That's a promising venture for Kevin Durant. That's why I brought him into the conversation at the beginning of the program, or beginning of the segment, for NBA talk. It's going to be interesting how he unfolds. I'm all board. I think he's impressive. Head coach of the Summer League in Cameron Wood said, I thought he was really good offensively. The thing that impressed me the most with him was how well he played within our style. He obviously had a great game, but the most impressive part to me was he did within our offense. It looked like team basketball out there, and he found success within what we were doing. Now, you're not going to get any bigger than what Taco Fall. You're not going to get any heavier than 290 pounds. So, it's going to, and I say all that because you're not going up against guys bigger than that. If you can handle yourself against that size, that presence down low, you're going to be special. I am on board the train of Chet Holmgren here, not only for his debut, for the Summer League debut, but also to see how his career unfolds. Number 2 overall pick in this last year's NBA draft. Now, moving on into the NBA talk, of course, we talked a little bit more about Kyrie Irving. We talked a little bit about Kevin Durant. It's fascinating what they are doing to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if I'm Brooklyn Nets, I would not fold up and die. I would not say, hey, we're just going to get rid of you just because we're going to get rid of you. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. I'm interested, though, to kind of see how things unfold. We mentioned the likelihood potentially OKC. He praised Chet Holmgren. Could he want to play there? Could he go to Miami, where you can get a trade there? Could he go back to Golden State? That's the obvious, clear choice if you want just to be a role player and go win. If I'm Golden State, definitely not, because obviously you won with him. You won without him multiple times, so you don't need him. You still have the players around him. Would not sell the farm. Now, I wouldn't necessarily sell the farm, but if you're Brooklyn, you want as much as possible. And if I'm Golden State, I'm not doing that. But if I'm an up-and-coming program in the NBA, like potentially a Charlotte Hornets, a Oklahoma City Thunder, potentially an Orlando, I'm interested. I'm mentioning teams that don't have the talent that these other programs have, of course. As I'm dropping stuff here in the studio, they don't have the talent, but they do have the pieces to be able to go get somebody. Now, Kevin Durant, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, cannot lead a program by himself. He is a phenomenal player. He cannot lead a program by himself. He needs somebody else. That's why a Charlotte Hornets, to me, or an Oklahoma City Thunder, makes a lot of sense. Ball, you just drafted Williams there in Charlotte from Duke University, the 7-footer. You have somebody to lob to. Ball is a phenomenal point guard. He's going to be a superstar in this league. Gordon Hayward is there. Now, Miles Bridges was there, and I don't think he'll ever play another play in the NBA again due to the fact that it was a situation, of course, you've probably heard of it, where domestic violence case right now, he has been charged. There might be a 10-year, up to 10 years in jail. We just don't know. It's going to be interesting. So Charlotte, to me, though, for a Kevin Durant, now I'm right now just kind of creating rumors. Of course, there's no talk whatsoever, but I want to kind of think outside the box if I am doing my job. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting to see if they can move the needle there. Talked a little bit about the college football rankings. Can they move the needles? If I'm Charlotte Hornets, brand new coach coming back, I'm interested in Kevin Durant. Team him up with a young Ball. Team him up with some good playmakers around him. That's intriguing to me. Are you going to sell the farm? Maybe not. Maybe so. I'm intrigued. Again, this Tailgate Sports Show right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, the Nextdoor Radio app. We'll be back. And welcome back to the Tailgate Sports Show right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. Once again, my name is Trey Snyder. Phone number 919-618-9258. Again, 919-618-9258. And as we prepare, as I told you, we have a little bit of everything on our programming today, part of the Tailgate Sports Show. Tomorrow, we're going to welcome Ron Knoll, who was the former Granville Central athletic director, now has taken his talents over to Vance County for Vance County High School. The former athletic director of Vance County is now over at Jordan High School. We're going to be welcoming him here next week. He is down in Michigan having a summer vacation. Who'd have thought? What does that even mean, summer vacation? But we'll welcome Joe Shero, the athletic director of Jordan High School, next week. Ron Knoll joins me tomorrow, as well as potentially the athletic director of Thales Academy of Roseville, George Hull, a great friend of mine, both great friends. So I'm definitely looking forward to that tomorrow, part of our Tailgate Sports Show here on Nextdoor Radio. We're going to switch our attention over to the baseball world. We've already talked a little bit about the hot dog eating contest, the college football realignments, some NBA talk, but also now going into some Major League Baseball. But today, in Major League Baseball history, in 1920, New York Yankees scored a Major League record 14 runs in the fifth inning of a 17-0 rout of Washington Senators. And again, in 1929, St. Louis Cardinals set an ML record with number of runs with 28 runs on 28 hits. The score was 28-6 versus the Phillies. Of course. And then in 1932, on today, July 6th, Cub future All-Star shortstop Billy Juergens is shot twice in Chicago hotel room by a spurred girlfriend, Violet Popovich Vali. No charges were filed. So, of course, 1933, first ML All-Star game, AO wins 4-2 in Chicago. Babe Ruth hits first All-Star home run. So much great things happening in the baseball world. But we looked a little bit about moving forward into, and I want to really focus on the National League East. Now, I will say that I am a Braves fan. We would talk a lot of Atlanta Braves baseball. Of course, the reigning World Series champions. And, of course, we'll do some other things as well, but a part of the Major League Baseball scene today, we're going to focus on the National League East. Now, the Atlanta Braves won last night, and only 2.5 games back from the New York Mets. Now, we know that New York is potentially, most of the time, falls flat on their face, and we're going to be intrigued how that unravels moving forward. But the Atlanta Braves looked like the team that won the World Series last night. They're already 10 games above where they were last year. This time, just yesterday, they were 40-41, so not above 500 until after the All-Star break. So they have hit their stride. And, of course, players are now coming back from being injured. So it's going to be interesting to see how things unfold. Right now in the National East, we'll start focus on now that the All-Star break is coming up. Of course, the trade deadline is also coming up here in August. So we'll start focus each day looking at different divisions. And today we'll focus on the East, the National League East. New York Mets right now are in first place with a 50-31 overall record. Atlanta Braves 48-34. Philadelphia, they're at 43-38. Miami Marlins, I keep saying all the time, they are a good program. Right now they're sitting at 39-40, looking for potentially to buy at the trade deadline. So I'm always intrigued about Miami for some reason. They're always scrappy. I love that. But regarding the New York Mets, according Mad Max is back and healthy. He pitched the gym last night. The New York Mets did lose last night, 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds. So you look at Cincinnati Reds, or they are not a really good club. They sit at last place, 28-52, a part of the Central of the National League. And so New York lost to a really bad team. But you look at it, that Mad Max pitched a gem. He struck out every single person in the lineup for Cincinnati. He is back. So he makes New York and the Mets a much dangerous team. But you look at it also as Atlanta Braves. They beat who they were supposed to. They're on a win streak. They won 14 games in a row. Now they're 2.5 games back of the division lead for the New York Mets. Eddie Rosario is back. Tyler Matzik just came back yesterday. So both players are back and healthy. Michael Harris, the rookie who's going for the Rookie of the Year, has been phenomenal. They have shored that outfield up dramatically. Kyle Wright has been fantastic. Ian Anderson pitched a gem last night. And so they're starting to kind of come things around. And you look at, well, they're already there. I don't think they're as good as they are playing. Or at least rephrase that. I think they're better than what they are playing. And that's saying something. They're home 26-17 away. They're 22-17. They're 7-3 in their last 10. So look for the Atlanta Braves to move up. Matt Olson has been fantastic. He leads the Major League Baseball in doubles, the most all-time in Atlanta Braves history, with 32 doubles going in before the All-Star break, and he still has a couple games to go before. Acuna has been automatically assigned the starting role for the outfield in the All-Star tournament. So a lot of great things are coming back. Mike Soroka, who, if you remember him, he is coming back. He is about to start his rehab assignment, will be on a 60-day rehab assignment. He might be back after the All-Star break sometime. So that's interesting to me. And I say that because, yes, I'm a Braves fan, and of course I want them to win. But I also have faith in New York of crumbling like they do every year. Now, you're going to hear a lot of, radio hosts and things like that say, well, this is a different year for New York. We say that every year. They always crumble. Now, they are in a better position this year. They have gone through the gauntlet of really tough teams, and they are still in first place. Right? Atlanta Braves started extremely slow. It took the month of June where they were phenomenal, beat who they were supposed to beat, and they're back in the position. Going into June, they were, 9.5 games back. Now they're 2.5 games back, so they've made some ground. Atlanta Braves is a better team than New York, especially now that people are starting to come back. Jacob deGrom for New York is not there yet. He is expected to opt out of his contract in the year. A lot of rumors right now are saying that the Atlanta Braves are looking to go and get Jacob deGrom. I don't buy that whatsoever. He's going to cost $32 million for a guy, yes, phenomenal when he is playing. Last couple years, he has not played. Cole Hamels comes to mind when that happens. So I'm not interested in that, especially when you have Austin Riley. You're going to have to pay Dansby Swanson, who I think is phenomenal. He needs to be able to locked up for the next 10 years. He is from Atlanta, drafted number 1 overall. Somehow the Atlanta Braves got them from the number 1 overall pick from a couple years ago, traded away Shelby Miller. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Somebody, took him out for a steak and a drink and a bourbon and all that jazz. So he is phenomenal. Matt Olson is here. He's here for the next 10 years. We need to be able to sign Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley. So I don't think we're going to need Jacob deGrom. We're playing good right now without him. So that rumor, that aspect of, I think that's just the agent of Jacob deGrom starting something that shouldn't be there. So can we expect New York to continue? Of course, they're going to still play great baseball moving forward, especially if Max Scherzer continues to do what he does. I'm intrigued by that. Of course, he is a great pitcher. He is back, but they need Jacob deGrom to be Jacob deGrom if they're going to make a World Series trip. Atlanta Braves right now are sitting at the number 1 overall wild card position, and after the All-Star break, I do expect the Atlanta Braves to be in first place moving forward. I think they're the better team right now than New York, especially with the Atlanta Braves looking to get healthier, as well as New York. It's going to be a great finish. I'm not too worried about Philadelphia. I think Miami will pass them moving forward, especially if Bryce Harper is out for an extended period of time. And Washington is a dumpster fire. They say they're not going to trade Juan Soto. They need to, but he is a building piece for some team. I think you can get a haul for him. Miami scares me because they are scrappy. They are a good program. Philadelphia, they're like New York. They start good, play good, and then kind of fizzle off every single year. So I do expect the Atlanta Braves to be there. I'm speaking as a radio broadcaster and a sport fan, not necessarily a Braves fan right now. As you know, I am a Braves fan, but I think they are a better team moving forward. Again, my name is Trace Nine on behalf of Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Next Door Radio app. This is the Tailgate Sports Show here on Next Door. We'll see you next time.